and I'm obviously doing this for the first time because my font size is 10, and their font size is 16. So obviously they've got a lot more experience. Well, thank you, Andy, I think. And I look forward to doing this, returning the favor when you stand up here someday. Yeah. Okay, before I start, I'd like to share with you a dream that I had last night. See, when I tell stories, people listen. You give a speech, nobody listens. Right, last night, I had a dream. I was in this beautiful mansion. There's a nice big pool filled with crocodiles, snapping their jaws loudly, waiting for food to be thrown at them. And gathered around the pool were a bunch of people dressed in tuxedos and evening gowns, right? And then the owner of the house stood up and said, I will give this house to the person who can swim from one end of the pool to the other end. And there was silence. So after a while, the owner of the house came out again and said, okay, I will give you the house next door as well. And then there was a lot of murmuring. But still, there was no action. And finally, the owner of the house said, okay, I will pay the ABSD on the second house. And all of a sudden, there was a splash, right? Everybody turned and looked at the pool, and they saw this guy swimming for dear life. And after what seemed like an eternity, he reached the other end. He climbed out of the pool. He was panting away, exhausted, but unharmed. So everybody gathered around him and started to congratulate him and say, congratulations, congratulations. And when he finally caught his breath, he looked up and he said, who pushed me? Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I ended up here today. Mr. Desmond Lee, Minister for National Development and Minister in charge of Social Services Integration, Your Excellencies, my fellow Rotarians, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and thank you for coming tonight. It is an immense honor for me to take the helm of this illustrious club. The past year with IPP James has been fun, as he was an all-singing, all-dancing president. The following year, not next year, following year, 12 months later, will also be a fun year because when President-elect Tom takes over, he too will be an all-singing, all-dancing president, and he will up the ante with a live band and backup dancers. Now, but for the next 12 months, I need to set expectations right. And to set expectations right, I need to tell you a story. Again. So when I was 5 years old, my mother enrolled me in a neighborhood kindergarten. And one day, she came to check on me and saw me standing in the corner alone while the rest of the kids were doing singing and dancing, right? So she wondered what happened, and she went to the teacher, and she asked the teacher, why is he standing in the corner? And the teacher said, your son would rather stand in the corner by himself, facing the wall, than to join the rest of the kids to sing and dance. True story. So this message is for those of you. Vinit, where are you? Now, if my kindergarten teacher can't get me to sing and dance when I was 5, you don't stand a chance today. But Rotarians love to party, and my allergy to parties make me an awkward Rotarian. So whenever the singing and dancing starts, which it will shortly, I will go hide in the toilet. Now, why I'm telling you this secret, because this secret doesn't work anymore because I got found out. At the district conference in Phuket last month, DGND Shahu, where are you? So he discovered that, and he was guarding the toilet and preventing me from going into my sanctuary. But come 2025-26, I will have my revenge. Mark my words. All right, so speaking of toilets, Shahu is an expert at toilets. Under his management, we will be doing 3 toilet projects in the coming year. In India, he's working with Rotary Club of Global Wizards and Beecroft to build toilets in 2 schools. In Vietnam, in collaboration with the Rotary Club of Da Nang, 64 households will be equipped with proper latrines instead of relying on open defecation areas. In Papua New Guinea, our collaboration with the Rotary Club of Morocco and Rotary Club of Manly will bring modern toilet facilities to 900 children in the Leslie Ole Primary School. So when it comes to toilets, don't mess with Shahu. But back home in Singapore, our community needs are different. We learned that many foreign domestic helpers who left their families to help look after ours often end up going home no better than when they first landed because of a lack of personal financial planning skills. That was something that we can help, and we did partner up with AIDA to teach them personal financial planning. In the Canossian school, we found that hearing-impaired children did experience significant delay in cognitive skills development, but at a hearing aid cost of cool $14,000. Guide Dogs Singapore taught us that guide dogs open a whole new world for blind people, but yet there were only 6 pairs of guide dogs in Singapore, as each dog cost $50,000. We learned of the plight of people with special needs from APSN and how difficult it is for them to get jobs. There is so much to do and so little time. And then COVID hit. We read about our migrant workers living in dormitories being locked in with no food. Reverend Samuel, Stephen, where are you? Over there. So back in 2000, we connected with Reverend Samuel with his Alliance Guest Workers Outreach, and we supported the 2 dormitories of stranded guest workers through the circuit breaker. And that partnership continued beyond COVID into an award-winning cricket program, which President James Shaw, IPB James, talked about just now, and that is still ongoing today. In the coming year, we will be extending this collaboration with AGWO through our Interact Club of Sembawang, doing health screening and education. Willing Hearts President Mr. Teh Eng Wah is here tonight. Eng Wah? Yes. In the early dark days of COVID, Willing Hearts was providing 10,000 meals a day to people who would have gone without a meal otherwise. Our late past president, Dinesh Sharma, led the club to double the capacity to 20,000 meals a day. We are honored that we are able to do our part in alleviating the hunger in the less fortunate amongst us, and we will continue to further collaborate with Willing Heart in the coming year. Fortunately, the worst of COVID is behind us. Tonight in this room, we have many COVID warriors with us. Professor Suli Young, okay, I can't see him. From the NUS Sosio Hawk School of Public Health, with whom we collaborated to bring a public webinar on COVID vaccination at a time when vaccine hesitancy was high. With Dr. Wong Sik Fan from Yishun Health. Sik Fan? No? Yes. Dr. Wong? We work on the Ground Up initiative Share Report, where single elderlies living together were brought together to bond with each other and for mutual support. Now, we learned that there is strength in the community and how that can be precipitated for sustainable community development. Dr. Tan Xiao Yen from National Center for Infectious Diseases is here tonight. Xiao Yen? Okay. She's been largely instrumental in creating the Disease Detective Camp, which just completed its 2nd run, giving our youth foundational training to be public health ambassadors. All this culminated in the formation of the first public health course-based Interact Club in the world, led by eminent medical epidemiologist Professor Stephen Wee, who is here in the room with us tonight. Stephen? So why an Interact Club? Because, as Whitley Houston sang, I'm not going to sing, that I believe the children are the future, teach them well and let them lead the way. So tonight, our Interactors and Rotractors are here with us. This Rotary New Generations, as we call them internally, has an impressive alumni which include many national leaders, and someday, some of them will be back here on the head table as our guests of honor. However, not all children are so fortunate. There are 19 children's homes in Singapore housing about 800 children that have been victims of abuse or neglect, and children with adverse childhood experiences are at greater risk of depression, suicide, drug abuse, and many other mental health challenges. But we can help. Mr. Lau Ki Hong from Chancellor Methodist Children's Home is here tonight. You saw him earlier. The home takes care of 70 children, some of whom you have met earlier on stage. Equals Chairman, Mr. Lai Hyun Po, is here on the head table with us. And this year, as you have heard earlier, we have partnered with Equal to bring a bespoke equine assisted service program to these children. We will expand the program onto the metaverse, as you have seen, thanks to a generous sponsorship from StarHub, whose Chief Technical Officer, Ayush Sharma. Ayush, are you here? Cannot see you. And the creativity of Smubbler Studios, whose founder, Dr. Loretta Chen, is also here. Loretta? Yeah. Now, the world is undergoing rapid changes through technological advances, and we believe that humanitarian and charitable organizations can and should be early adopters of new technologies. In addition to our metaverse ambitions, we have also witnessed just now the potential application of immersive, augmented, and virtual reality in our project with Equal. Thanks to Mind Palace, whose founder, Eugene So, is also here with us tonight. Together, we urge you to donate generously to this program to create hope for these children. In closing, let me bring you back to the pool of crocodiles. Now, when I turned around, I saw 19 people climbing out of the pool. Some of them were not as fortunate as I was. One had an arm chewed off, another lost a foot, and many others were bleeding profusely. Now, they had jumped in after I fell in, or I jumped in, and they helped me fend off the crocodile so that I can emerge on the other end unscathed. Tonight, 17 of these brave souls are here with us. The other 2 are getting their arm and the foot fixed. So, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Rotary Club of Singapore's 89th Board of Directors. Sergeant at Arms, Dr. Don Chen. Sergeant at Arms, Praveen Suraj. Yeah. Technology Director, Lionel Osuka. Environment and Sustainability Director, Suresh Hatiramani. Youth Service Director, Louisa Lee. International Service Director, Dr. Rupesh Agrawal. Vocational Service Director, Vinay Lianga. Vinay, I'm still not singing, huh? Community Service Director, Sonali Sinha. Major Project Chair, Pauline Teo. Rotary Foundation Director, Ankit Angawa. Public Image Director, Ong Ting Yong. Conventions Director, Raj Kumar. Honorary Secretary, Suzanne Ng. Vice President, Ronald Wong. Vice President, Frank Pao. President-elect, Tom Wolf. And last, but certainly not least, immediate past President James Lee.